feel like Coach Tomlin right now on a Tuesday. This is humbling. Okay, so I'll first address sort of this the last 48 hours of events and what's transpired. This national anthem sort of ordeal has been out of control, and I think there's a lot to blame on myself, and I wanna address it. So Saturday night, as you guys all know, there was a team meeting that was going to determine what is it that we were going to do as a team. Coach Tomlin gave us the guidance that we had to do it all as one, so 100%, and whatever is it that we had to do. There was a disagreement in what we were going to do, and the only course of action was to go inside and remove ourselves from the situation. It was never to disrespect the national anthem. Every single one of my teammates is extremely supported and extremely patriotic, in this locker room. And I can not only say that for this locker room, I can say it across the NFL and every single player that I've gone against. After the meeting, based on my unique circumstances and based on the fact that I've served in the Army and that pretty much everything that is my life is related to the military, I asked Ben if there was a way to define the inside or where is it that we were going to stay, and if I could watch the national anthem from the tunnel, and he agreed. He said the captains will be out there right behind me, and so this plan sort of morphed to accommodate this tough moral dilemma that I had in my hands, to where the players could be behind me in the tunnel. Ben Roethlisberger said at 56, make sure you're out there because the national anthem is going to start at 57. I walked out at 12:56. I asked one of the security guards, when the national anthem was going to start, and he said 20 seconds. And so I just walked up, and I stopped as soon as I saw the flag, as soon as I had a vantage point. That to me was enough. There was a flag that was coming in from one of the previous celebrations, and when I turned around to sort of, signal everybody else to come in so they wouldn't leave me alone, then that's when, they were essentially unable to exit. At that moment, it was the decision of, do you walk out of the national anthem and join your teammates? I know that would have looked extremely bad. Or, do you, as a team, do you start moving halfway through the national anthem? So essentially what we can get out of this is that we butchered our plan to sort of have a response for the national anthem and respect everyone's opinions. I would say that my personal thoughts about the situation is that regardless of this plan, very few players knew that I was going to the tunnel because I only asked the team leadership. And so because of that, I didn't give them an opportunity to stand with me during the national anthem. That is the very embarrassing part on my end and what transpires, because when everybody sees an image of me standing by myself, everybody thinks that the team and the Steelers are not behind me, and that's absolutely wrong. It's quite the opposite, as they all would have, actually the entire team would have been out there with me. Even the ones that wanted to take a knee would have been there with me had they known these extreme circumstances that at Soldier Field, at the heat of the moment, when I got soldiers, wounded veterans texting me that, that I have to be out there, then I think everything would have been put aside from every single one of my teammates, no doubt. So because of that, I've made Coach Tomlin look bad, and that is my fault, and that is my fault only. I've made my teammates look bad, and that is my fault only. And I made the Steelers also look bad, and that is my fault and my fault only. So unwillingly, I've made a mistake, and so I've talked to my teammates about the situation. Hopefully they understand it. If they don't, I still have to live with it, because the nature of this debate is causing a lot of very heated reactions from fans, from players, and it's undeserving to all the players and coaches from this organization. So with that, I'll open up for any questions.
Now, would you be okay if Ben said everyone's going to go onto the field in Baltimore? Would you be okay if your teammates knelt, some of them knelt, some of them sat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've gone against. I mean, there's been players that have gone out of their way in the National Football League to thank me for my service. And the arch rivals in the AFC North, Terrell Suggs, Michael Johnson. I mean, these players, John Harbaugh. I mean, they've gone out of their way after a game to thank me for my service, to really. And it's not because of me; it's because I'm a soldier. I could be Soldier X, and they're out there thanking me. So Out of all these players in the NFL that are taking a knee, I don't think as a veteran I'll take offense. I think in a big picture we're discussing different things. Nobody thinks that when you're taking a knee you're offending the flag, and they're saying it. And I don't think anybody that's standing for the flag is not respecting and the fact that there's a lot of injustices and racial divide in our country. So we're essentially talking about two completely different things. But the problem is that it's interpreted as disrespectful to the flag, and so at the end of the day, people have to live with those consequences. Colin Kaepernick did, and there's a lot that can be said about his venture of starting this process, but I have no offense. I take no offense. I don't think veterans, at the end of the day, take any offense. They actually signed up and fought so that somebody could take a knee and protest peacefully, whatever it is that their hearts desire.
What did you express to teammates Saturday night about any, potential feelings you had about not seeing the field?
Well, I'd say that, I wouldn't say the harsh reality. There's a lot of levels and there's a lot of reasons why people join the Army, but at the end of the day, there's people. I've seen. It happens all the time. People die for the flag. There's no way else to put it. When somebody's about to go on a mission, somebody's loading up to Chinook, somebody's ready to go. There's nothing else that's going to justify, other than the men to the left and right, dying for that mission. I wish I could stay home. I wish we could all play Call of Duty and not have to go to war. But some men, some women sign up, for this tough challenge, and they have to do it for the flag. When I see a flag on a mission on the shoulder of a soldier, that reminds me that guy is with me. That reminds me that I have to fight and lay my life down for him. Whether it's in my unit, whether it's Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a flag on your shoulder. I'm going to identify that, and I'm fighting for each other. So that's what the flag means to me. That's what a flag means to a lot of veterans. Wounded warriors, they have no legs. They have shrapnel on their legs. They stand up and they salute the national anthem. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to me. And so I think my teammates respected this thoroughly. It was just not communicated, and then the plan did not allow them a chance to get out and support me, or maybe go back to the lab and sit 5 more hours before the game and figure out a plan. I thought that we had to go to bed, work something in the middle, and then unfortunately, I threw him under the bus unintentionally.
Al, today I think you have the best-selling jersey in the league, but you're a guy that doesn't enjoy. You don't like this attention for this sort of stuff. So how does it feel that people are treating you as, because of those pictures today, they're treating you as some sort of hero that sort of like stood up to whatever. They're sort of interpreting it for another thing. And what would you have to say to people that are trying to maybe put you up there?
That's completely wrong. And every single time, I see that picture of me standing by myself, I feel embarrassed to a degree, because again, like I said, unintentionally, I left my teammates behind. It wasn't me stepping forward. I never planned to boycott the plan that the Steelers came up with. I just thought that there was to be some middle ground where I could stay in the tunnel, nobody would see me, and then afterwards I wouldn't talk to the media like I do all the time. I will avoid you guys. I'll shower and bring my clothes in, never address you guys, and 2 weeks later you guys will be talking about something else. So I thought that was in my head what was going to happen. Steelers don't show up to the national anthem. There's a debate nationally about what's right or wrong. Everything goes down. We go back, talk about North Korea or the healthcare bill, and then we play the Baltimore Ravens and we forget about it. So you guys know me for the guys that come into the locker room all the time. I hate attention. I don't like it. I'll give you guys cliches so you guys will leave me alone. But when it comes to this, it's a difficult situation, and I don't like the attention. And at the end of the day, the reason, whether I wanted it or not, whether it was my intended plan or not, the reason that I went out there by myself is the reason that is causing all this distress and is making the organization look bad, my coach look bad, and my teammates look bad. And for anybody who thinks that Coach Tomlin is not as patriotic as you can get in America, or any one of my teammates or the owner, I take offense to that. And so that's kind of how I feel when I see myself standing alone in the national anthem.
Al, do you think the president should apologize for calling NFL players derogatory names, or for drawing you guys into this in the first place?
You guys do this for a living. You guys enjoy, and you guys comment what the president says. I play football. I don't have anything to say about the commander-in-chief and his decisions. You know, I've been following orders when I was in the military, and now, you know, I'm not responsible enough to make a comment about the president. You know, I stick to football. I respect if other players want to talk about the president and his decisions, but I have a lot on my plate. I have to play to a standard. I have to represent the Steelers organization, so I have nothing to comment about what the president says.
And following
Guys,
this,
3 more questions.
and following the story and having to see that picture, you know, what did you learn about how the country views this issue that can be divisive?
I think, you know, I'm going to give credit to Coach Munchak because he's the one that sort of, you know, decipher it for all of us. You know, we're not talking about the same thing. That's the thing that people need to understand when it comes to the national anthem. And I was one of the first ones that took offense when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I was one of the first ones that did an interview, and to a certain degree, I never criticized him, but I didn't agree with it. What people don't understand is that people that are taking a knee are not saying anything negative about the military. They're not saying anything negative about the flag. They're just trying to protest the fact that there's some injustices in America. And for people that stand up for the national anthem, it doesn't mean that they don't believe in these racial injustices. They're just trying to do the right thing. So we as a team try to figure it out. Obviously butchered it, but I have learned that, you know, I don't know what it's like to be from Dade County. I don't know what it's like to be from Lakeland. I can't tell you that I know what my teammates have gone through. So I'm not going to pretend like I have the righteous sort of voice to tell you that you should stand up for the national anthem. You know, it is protected by our Constitution and by our country. It's a freedom of speech. People felt that based on the comments that the president made, that they had to go out and protect and support Colin Kaepernick, and you know that's completely in their right. But it was not something that we were trying to do with the Steelers. We were trying to be unified, and unfortunately, I made the team look sort of, you know, all over the place and not unified. And so it's just a very unfortunate, you know, sort of 48 hours for me.
Do you
2
think
more, guys.
do you think you'll be able to kind of go back to the anonymity that you seek, or is this?
Can you repeat, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Is this? Do you think you'll be able to go back to the anonymity you seek? Now you're thrown out in front of this. Do you think you can get back to?
I'm always going to stand up for the national anthem. You know, I think Coach Tomlin could have picked any other tackle in the NFL to develop and turn into a starting left tackle. I have to be real with myself and understand that the reason why I'm playing here, the reason why the Steelers got me here is because I served in the military, and they saw something in that story that attracted them. Because the Philadelphia Eagles cut me, and I was the first player to be cut in Philadelphia. And then the only person to call me was Coach Tomlin. So I don't know. I mean, to a certain degree, I really don't care. I can't go out there and either pick you up if you're taking a knee, or, you know, make you put your hand on your heart or sing the national anthem. I really don't care. I'm going to stand up for the national anthem. I'll support, you know, all my teammates. All my teammates have always supported me. All my coaches have always supported me. And if there's any, 32 teams out there. You know, I got cut from Philadelphia, and the only team that called me was Mike Tomlin, and it was because he saw some character traits that might help me become a future starter, and he did. And so, it's you know, for me, it's wish I control that. You know, if the whole NFL wants to kneel down, stand up, go to the Army, Navy store and buy uniforms, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, play football.
Final question, guys. Final question.
Can you talk about the
May have said to you over the last 24 hours, and do you think in some strange way this has brought the team even closer together?
So I would say this, the team meeting that we had on Saturday night brought the whole team together. Absolutely, it really did. We had great conversations, you know, between people that felt some type of way, and we completely understood that everything that was going outside the building was not in our control, and we were going to do something together. Unfortunately, I felt the pressure of having to find some middle ground so I could at least be in the national anthem. My teammates wanted to do that. It got butchered because of this flag thing. Maybe and hopefully, if this is a really big deal, they'll find videos of people as they were bringing out the flag. You know, as you know, you'll be able to tell that they could not leave the locker room. But how would you feel if you were a player? I mean, there's a lot of players. I mean, I'm not going to name it, but like 99, I would say almost all of them. I cannot even tell you who was going to take a knee. But all my teammates wanted to stand up for the national anthem. They did not want this to be a distraction at all. Their first course of action was to go out there and stand up. But in order to remove any doubt of last second, we decided to stay away from the situation. Not protest it, but stay away from the situation. And how would you feel if you were somebody who really wants to go out there and stand up for the national anthem, and you didn't know that there was a player that was going to stand up there in the tunnel and see from a vantage point? I would be really pissed, because now he's getting all the heat and all the, obviously I don't have social media, but they have social media, and they're getting negative feedback because they didn't stand up for the national anthem, when in reality they would have done it. They were fighting to stand up for the national anthem. Everybody in the offensive line was very advocate about just standing up for the national anthem. Who cares? We understand there's a lot of problems out there. But I didn't give him the chance based on the fact that I told very few people that it was going to be a very selective few that was going to go up there, and we were just trying to, come up with a middle ground plan so that, I would at least get to see the national anthem. Some other players would, but if you had different type of views, that you could stay in the locker room.